I'm Jeff Cohn of Suburban Issues, and thank you very much for being with us today. Today I'm going to have some fun with an interview of a person that lives in our viewing area and a person that I've been knowing for some years. She and her husband are both authors, and I thought it would be very intriguing to talk to a young author, and a new author, I should say, and a young author, and learn about the book that she's written about. So today I have with me Donna Bassette. Thank you very much for being with me, Donna.
Thanks for having me.
It's a great pleasure to have you, and I'm really excited about talking about your project in terms of your new book by way of Egypt, and to see what motivated you to do this great work that you've done.
Well, I appreciate it.
Good. There's some other aspects about this that I'm intrigued about. And so when you wrote the book, the educational aspect of the book is definitely there. You cover one of Egypt's most recognized citizens, Mayo Imhotep, in the book. And he was a physician and a architect and an astrologer. When you write that, how did you want schools to use this book? I mean, so did you want schools to use it, and from using it to help with history and writing? Talk a little bit about that, how you wanted schools to actually use the book.
Initially, my thinking was that schools could take this because it's historical fiction, but it is historical. And so initially I thought, well, you know, schools can take this book and they can use it kind of for history and, you know, for middle school and have them enjoy the history of Egypt. I actually talked to a good friend of mine who consulted me as I went through the book, and he's a history teacher at Rich Central High School.
Right.
And so I talked to him, and he said, well, you know, even though it has facts in there, it can't truly be used as a history substitute because they need to have that textbook kind of feel to it. So, but he said, but you know, don't get discouraged because it can be used as a supplemental book. So if you've got an Egyptian curriculum or history that you're studying, ancient civilizations, it could be used as supplemental reading. Okay. And then in the back of the book also, it has about 25 projects that kids can do at home with their parents. They can do it in the classroom, and they can enjoy all these different projects that they can do after they read the book to kind of bring it home. Yeah. Bring it home.
I saw the primers that you had for the exercises in the back of the book, constructing various structures that from the Egyptian times, such as the pyramid. So I thought that those were very good, because sometimes kids have history projects and parents struggle on how to help them, and I think that the primers, the examples that you give of things that they can do, is something that was excellent. I mean, I recently went through that with my daughter in the science projects, the history projects, so I thought that those 25 exercises were very nice in the back of the book.
Yeah, and I even challenged the students to send me pictures. So if they are particularly proud of their project, they can send me pictures, and I'll put some of them on my Facebook page as well as my website.
Right. So there is an educational component. So you do want this. So you said that middle schools is the primary audience for the book.
Middle schools are the primary audience. So we're talking 5th through 8th grade. But if you have an advanced student who's a little younger, then they can read it. Some parents are now reading it with their kids. I have a set of twins who are reading it with their aunt, and she'll come once a week and she'll sit down and they'll read through a couple chapters. So it can be you know, done if they're not at that age.
Excellent. So that's great. I mean, I think that anything to help kids in this social media age where people are not reading as much as they used to, anything to draw them into reading stories about life, humanity, and history is all. I mean, that's the thing that I liked about the book, is that you did integrate all of those very nicely, where they didn't know that they were learning history.
That was the theory. So that was the theory, to learn and not even know that you're learning, and relate to history and not even realize, hey, they're just like me, and you'll get it and not even know that you've gotten it.
All right, so now we've got this workout, By the Way of Egypt, Tales of the Ancestors' Voices. What's next for you?
As we touched on a little bit earlier, I've always planned on having this be a series, and so I'm mulling over what civilization to do next. I'm thinking either kind of the Nubian nation or perhaps the Congo. So I'm kind of tossing that up, so we'll see. But right now, in terms of this book, I'm continuing to press this book, publish it, publicize it rather, and market it as much as possible, get it into the hands of as many kids as I possibly can. I ultimately would like it to become a movie. So that's my goal. I want it to not just be a book for African Americans to appreciate African history, but I want everybody to know that this was a great society, and the other civilizations that I write about, I want them to enjoy that too.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So how can people actually get the book?
They can get the book by going to my website, DawsonTwins.com. Or they can go to Amazon.com. Either way.
Good. And just search by the title.
Yep, they can search by the title or search by my name.
So are you guest speaking at schools? How are you getting your message out in schools?
Right now, I'm communicating with various principals and administrators within the school system, and talking to them about coming out to the schools. I'm working with a few libraries. I've had a book signing so far at Flossmoor Library, and then I'm working with another library that's working on their summer program for middle school kids, and so I'll come out with the book, and we'll have projects and things like that for them to do in the back of the book, and I'll come out and speak. So I'm just here to reach out to folks, and hopefully they'll enjoy what I do.
Excellent. Well, you know what, I was happy that you came on. When I saw the book and had learned that you had written a book, I couldn't wait to share it with our viewing audience, for them to put it on the reading list for their children now for spring break and for the summer, and and also connect it to history, and for parents to find a way to connect it to history. So I thank you very much for being on with us today. It's been a delightful conversation.
Thank you.
I wish you well.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure that you're going to be quite successful. Thank you very much for being with us today. I hope that you have found this conversation to intrigue you enough to actually go to the website that was mentioned earlier, or to Amazon.com to try to find the book by way of Egypt, and read it. And this is really targeted towards young people. So in addition to good health, we also want to make sure that we're encouraging children to read and expand their minds as much as possible. So I hope that you take that next step in getting the book and maybe reading the book with your middle school students. So thank you very much for being with us today. I'm Jeff Cohn of Suburban Issues.